From representation to maternity, paternity, adoption leave policies, to flexible work, to childcare coverage, to training and development programs that support advancement, our relentless focus on showcasing those companies that have stood out year after year has now created a benchmark in the United States. We call it the gold standard. So with the support of our partner here in India, Avtar, we have launched the Best Companies for Women in India initiative. And the results of this will become available tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. We're hoping that this list will catapult Indian corporates to the forefront because they are already doing great work, and we hope that this will motivate and inspire them to become the leaders who recruit, advance, retain women in their organizations. And we're going to share more information about this initiative over the course of the conference. So now I want to share a little story of why we chose to bring this conference to Mumbai instead of to Bangalore, where most of our companies that we work with have operations and bases there, or to Chennai, which is my hometown, or to New Delhi, the capital. We chose to bring it to Mumbai. Many years ago when I was at Merrill, and when women used to get together, they used to say, if you want to become the CEO of a financial services company, go to India. Go to India. So when you look around, for those of you that are from banking or that work with banking, you know that India just has exploded with women leaders in the banking sector, in the financial services sector. So one of the things I did was I began to dig in to find out why and how. So how many of you here know of the story about Mr. K.V. Kamath? Could you raise your hand? Okay, a good third of the room knows about it, so I will tell the story. Many years ago, as you know, there was a CEO at ICICI Bank. His name was Mr. K.V. Kamath. And Mr. Kamath decided that he needed to really do something to set his bank apart. And the key to that was talent. And the key to that talent was looking at the talent that they were not getting to. And that was women. Indian companies at that point in time, including banks, were not doing a great job in recruiting, developing, promoting, and putting women in leadership roles. So guess what Mr. Kamath did? He decided that he was going to look at the talented women in his organization, and no holds barred, he was going to push them, challenge them, promote them, and relentlessly mentor and sponsor them to bring out the very best in them. So guess what happened when it was time for Mr. Kamath to retire? I think 5 of the 7 people on the bench waiting to take his job were women. A woman got the job. You know who she is, Chanda Kochhar. And guess what happened to the other 4 women who didn't get the job? Other banks came in, swooped in, and said, please become our CEO. And overnight, India went from having no women in banking to having 5 women as leaders in banking. And that's the power. And if you then look at the industry itself, from the largest rating agency in India that is led by a woman who you're going to hear from later this morning, Zashu Shuyash, to the RBI governors, to the head of the stock exchange, to country heads of your global multinational banks. There are women leaders everywhere. And guess what that does? It sets the tone that says every woman entering into the industry looks up and says, I too can be that. And if you can be that, guess what you do? You push yourself. You don't let the barriers that sort of spring up to stop you. You just keep barreling forward. And that is the power of visible senior leadership. And so there is a lot to be very, very proud of in India, something that we still do not have in the United States. We do not have a single woman leader of a major investment or corporate bank. Not one. So please give yourselves a round of applause for that.